Okay, right now we're going to start to finish. This lesson is on finishing up the tiger, or we can turn it into a puma, jaguar, a lion, whatever kind of big cat we'd like to create. This is the finished product here. Right here I'm going to show you. This is where we left off last time, and then this is the finished product. So today we're basically just adding these fine line details in black, and then we're also going to add in some body lines. Here's one I did in a different values. These I did in values of purple, and I went ahead and put in some lines for the body too. So if you'd like a body that comes down, you can have a body this way, and I'm going to show you how I did that. I'm going to first start off by giving a very light value, and I'm using this flat brush here, this wide flat brush, as opposed to the brush I used last time, the round brush. This just gives me a big area to fill in. And I'm just going to go ahead off of the neck here and add, and again it's a little bit lighter value than his body, just so it shows a little difference. And I'm coming off of each side, and I'm just going to paint down to the right off the page. This just gives his shoulder area. We're looking straight on at this tiger here, and the flat brush really works well filling in big areas quickly, and that's what I want. And I want to fill this in just first so that as I'm doing my other designs, this can be drying. Then I'll be able to put in, this is just the base coat, then I'll be able to put in all his stripes after I finish this. So we let this dry, we just forget about this area, and now we're going to work on the face. All the stripes then I can then add after it dries to finish off that look. Alright, right now I'm going to work on this black stuff, adding detail into the face, and I'm just going to use a black, and I put a little bit of water in this black just so that so it can be more fluid and flow, not as thick. That way I can get some nice thin lines here. And I'm going to work up the eyes first. And I'm going to fill in, I'm just going to barely dip in the paint and touch the edge and just have a little bit on the edge here. And I'm going to work in the center eye, the pupil. From the pupil, I'm going to go ahead and work in right here, the pupil, the round circle, the black dot in the center. And I'm going to leave a little reflection line. And you decide if you want your reflection on the right or the left. I'm going to have it on the right side, so after I outline the pupil inside the iris, the color is the iris, and this is the pupil. And then I'm going to block it out and leave that little square. If you see, there's a tiny little square. And this I'll just fill in. So I'm going to fill this in with the black. And I'm going to do it on both sides. So I'm going to trace a small circle inside the iris. Then I'm going to block off a little highlight, and this is where the reflection is in his eye. And then I've painted in that circle, just carefully. I'm not monoprinting the pupils. I'm going to just do this added lines freehand. Then this is going to be, I'm going to trace in the edge of the eyes very carefully and slowly. And I'm going to get more paint. And then this has a little bit thicker area here. I'm going to do the same for this side. Load up again with the paint. Trace this edge carefully. And then just kind of thicken up this area. This kind of goes in with the tiger stripes. And then you can design these stripes any way you want to. I'm going to reinforce. Now say you've over printed this area, printed a little bit too much. I noticed some kids got really big on their noses. You can always come in with your black for your nostrils. So I'm putting a line down here, and I'm going to press my brush in just to bring my nostrils together. And then I can outline this if I want to. This just brings in those nostrils. So if you've ever over printed here, you can fix that with these lines in here. Say if you make a mistake totally, just paint it all in. And then I'm going to do my line here, and then the line near the mouth. Down around, down around. And then I'm going to put in just a little line on each side here. I'm not going to go all in here. I'm just going to put in some fur, just lines to make it furry, a furry feel on the edges. Same thing with this. I'm not going to retrace all my lines. I'm just going to kind of put fur in here. Taking my brush, flicking out, flick out, flick out. Same thing with these edges. I'm just going to kind of make fur texture with my brush. I bring it down and in, just flicking in. And on the top, it's kind of like hair texture. Now, if you want your tiger stripes, you can add, coming off the ear, I can make a stripe here. And I don't make the stripes the same. Just like I said, I'm not monoprinting. I'm making them different because the tiger stripes are different in each area. It's not exactly the same on both sides. I'm putting some around the ear. If you want to put in some fur around the ear here for definition, that's fine. And then if you want to put, this is really cool here. This is very tiny rows of 4 or 5 dots. And this is where the whiskers come out. I'm not actually going to draw in the whiskers. I'm just putting the whisker lines in. 4 or 5 tiny, tiny dots. And this is like the cheek pads here. And I'm going to bring it down to, I'm trying to make these the same on both sides. But I'm hand doing these. I'm not going to monoprint. If I did monoprint these, then I'm going to end up monoprinting everything else that's wet. Now, you can choose to do your lines how you'd like in here. You could put some lines under his eyeballs if you'd like, heavier. Or you can do thin, delicate lines. That's up to you how you want these lines. I kind of like it a little bit heavier under here. If you want to put in some tiger, you decide where you want your stripes now. You can put tiger stripes here and alter. Some on one side, some on the other. Some on one side, maybe a little bit on the other side. You could put in tiger stripes here, and then maybe some shorter ones and smaller, longer, smaller. Don't overdo the stripes. Maybe one there, maybe one here. Then you can work up. I'm going to put a little bit of hair in here. Little fine lines for hair. I'm wiping most of the paint off on my brush in the ears, and I'm doing very little inside here. You can see the top. I think that was cut off while I was running the video. And now I'll work up my body. By then, I painted it really thin, so it should be dry by now. So I'm going to do some, this is kind of like fur lines here, just random brush strokes. And then I'm going to do a tiger stripe. One, and then I slowly lift up my brush to get skinnier. This is a variation line, a line that varies, going from thick, press down the brush, then I lift as I pull slowly, and I get a real skinny line. And some shorter, push and pull. And I might want a stripe in here that's pretty bold underneath him, coming up in here and then going thin at the end. So the line actually varies. It's not just see the difference? This is very stiff. This is gradual. So I'm going to fix these. These two I don't like. So to fix it, just make it a little bit skinnier on the ends. Thin out your ends. Vary the size. Some are short, some are long. And then maybe I'll have one coming off the page here. Pretty thick, and then going to very thin right there. I keep on dipping in my brush. I keep on loading this brush up. A nice wet brush works well, and then the nice tip shows. At this point, you can assess your work and see what else you need. Do you need any other colors? Do you need to fix anything else? Maybe I want to add some darker value down in here to match in here. That's up to you, how you want to fix it. If you want to add some more color where you need it, where you see, go ahead and stick it in. I kind of like all this white added in here. Maybe I want a little bit here just to bring it closer. But you decide how you like it, what you want. I'm going to stick some more of this deeper orange in here just to change some of these stripes. I'm not putting a lot of it. I'm just doing a little bit just to have different value in my body right in here. Then you can go ahead and add your jungle. If you finished, once you finish this tiger here. Oh, I did forget this line though. I do want this curved eye line. This needs a little bit more here. Yeah, I do like some kind of a, there. That helps. And then I need a little bit thicker here. These eyes were a little bit farther, the pupils, from the opening. Okay, and when you're happy, you can start working on a background. Where are you going to put them? What kind of a jungle? Because we're doing kind of a imaginary tiger or lion or leopard, and we're going to put him in the jungle. I'm going to put some more, because as I'm looking, I assess this and I'm thinking he looks kind of skinny. You could leave him young looking, or if you want him a little bit older, you can add a little bit more of this kind of, to fur up this head, to thicken up his head. I'm going to kind of put some thicker hair coming off of this area. I want some red in here, some reddish orange color. Same thing up in here. This just makes him a little bit thicker and furrier. That's just a little bit more wilder looking. There, I think I'm happy now with him. I want to touch up some black here, reinforcing some of these curved lines. Okay, I like that better. Now I'm going to go ahead, you can start in on your, painting your jungle, painting your background, however you want to do your leaves, right in here, to finish off your picture. And again, whenever you're doing anything with painting, we're working on value. So I have some medium green here, lime green. I'm going to stick some turquoise here on the edge for shading. And then I'll blend that. I'll wipe my brush dry, and I'll blend these two colors in. So I have some blue-green here. My turquoise mixes with green to make blue-green in my leaf. And so I have variations in my values, so light values to dark. I can also, what's called double loading. If I dip one side of my brush into yellow, the second side into green, and I'm just really carefully doing this. I'm not stirring and mixing. I can go ahead and when I do the stroke and paint the leaf, and this is with the flat brush, it's mixing color together, both colors right here on my brush. And so then I can make my leaf, and I have both colors in here as I do that. I can dip in green and even turquoise, double load with the turquoise. One side light green, one side turquoise. And then when I make my strokes, or my bamboo, or whatever I'm making, if I want to do some bamboo on this side, put another little bamboo piece in here. Then I've got both colors on my strokes. Then when I make my bamboo leaves, press and pull, press and pull, press and pull, then it makes the nice little leaves, and I've got a variation in my color. I'll dip in and get to the turquoise and blue and top bamboo leaves. I'm doing bamboo because tigers come from India, and in India there's a lot of bamboo. India and Asia, so I'm sticking in some bamboo there. And I can even stick in some more bamboo plant up in top here. So however you want to decorate your background, that's up to you, but we're doing some kind of jungle in the background. There. And then I can put some more leaves on here in different value. And I just press and flick for my bamboo leaves. You can even move some more on this side. So basically, if I want to do a vine, I can add some vines. Really make him like he's peeking into the jungle. Come back and add more dark shadow and value underneath the leaves, as you see. Keep on assessing. What else does it need? Where can I add more color? Look at the layers. Right here I've just layered and overlapped. That's real great. It gives more depth into this jungle, making it look more lush and tropical. This light plant's behind my vine now. Now I'm adding some more leaves on my vines, pressing in yellows and greens, and I'm just pressing. I'm letting my